Alright, this is a VS920 charging port repair, and basically I've already taken the phone apart. You can see that I have all the screws. I mean, I've literally taken, I've taken the back off of it, which, a house is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screws that you need to take off. Inside, there's just a couple more that hold up the motherboard here, or the logic board, and that's actually what we're going to be replacing is the charging port today. Here's the replacement port. So I'm going to move to this side. I went ahead and turned on my rework gun. I'll use this to apply heat and remove the board. It'll just make it easier at the end of the day. And I will use my soldering iron. See if it zooms in on that. There you go. Oh, maybe not. No, not going to be today. Anyways, I'm using a WES51 Weller. It's about $120, $100 gun. Not too expensive, but works really well. Good quality. Alright, I'm going to be using flux today also. This is the flux that I use. It's made by MG Chemicals. I don't know if you can, I swear the autofocus on this thing's horrible. There you go. MG Chemicals, you can see it's a no clean flux paste. I get this on Amazon. It's like 10 bucks a tube. Can't really find it for any much better of a price. Other than that, I'll also be using some heat tape. This is just going to be, I will put it around areas on the board here, just to keep these chips from, heating up very high, or any plastics or anything in that area, so they don't melt when I apply the heat. Alright, so first is first. I am getting that light here. The light comes from an AmScope microscope. I will be using this a little bit later. It's a, I think it's an AmScope, I don't know, 2.5x. Goes to maybe 90 times. It's on a boom. You can also pick this up on Amazon. They're about $800 for the microscope, $800 to $900 bucks. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and apply some flux right around here. And try to remove some of this old solder if there is any. Well, there's definitely is some, but we just need to remove it. So once we remove it, it'll help us be able to get this guy off a lot easier. This is just a wicking, basically it sucks up solder. It's made of copper. This stuff gets very hot too. I mean, even all the way back here, and I'm only heating up right here, it gets extremely hot back here. Hotter than I can actually hold. So just be careful with that. Alright, you can see there's some solder right here, right here, right here, and right here. I like to take a little bit of solder on the tip. Well, first I like to put some flux down. Flux is just really important. It helps the solder stick, helps the solder kind of mix together much easier. Without the flux, you're going to be hating life. Alright, so I can kind of just put a little bit down in there. Trying to just mix it around a little bit. And I'm mixing it for the reason that I'm mixing the old solder with some new solder. That way when I do use this wick, it's actually gonna suck it out much easier. May not make sense, but it works. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is reapply some more flux right here, on top of these, because I just put a little bit more solder on them. I'm going to take this and clip off, so I'm working with like a fresh piece. I thought that was going to be a little bit easier than it was. Alright. So now literally, we're going to suck all the solder out of that hole, hopefully, which will make this thing much easier to remove right here. It's working okay. Not as well as I'd like it to, actually. Put a little bit more on here. Alright, so I've sucked off a little bit of the solder. Didn't really work like I wanted to, but it did get some off. Alright, so now I'm going to take this tape right here, and I'm going to kind of tape around this area because I don't want to get all that stuff extremely hot. Definitely anything plastic, you do not want to heat up. Like if you melt these things, I mean, you're done. You're not going to get the you're never going to get the flex cables to go back down into those female connectors. I like to be kind of generous with this stuff. I mean, it is expensive, but well, it's a lot more expensive when you mess something up. So I do like to be nice and generous with the heat tape, as you'll see.
Today?
Yes, we can. I'm also recording a video.
Right.
Yep. But yes, we can get McDoubles today. Alright. So that's where we're at. There we go. Finally worked. So you can see I've taped up pretty much everything except for the charging port. I didn't tape up the stuff in the back here because I'm not going to be using or hitting that part with it, with the heat gun. Alright, so this actually has got 4 posts. It's got a post here, post here, post here, post here. It does have 2 little tiny, like, just kind of like smaller metal plates that sit on top of the board that are soldered down, and then on the back side you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins that are soldered down. So what we need to do is actually we're going to have to heat this whole area up enough with this gun right here, and then we'll be able to remove it. Alright. Also going to use a pick like this to just get up under here and actually lift it up once this gets out enough. So right now I'm just going to be applying flux. And I do apply a little bit to the top and the bottom, anywhere you see solder. Okay. So now we're applying the heat. Got one side coming out. Okay. Hot. That is for sure. It is very hot. Alright, everything's cooled back down. Ooh. And so there's your port right there. Move it over here. It's very hot right now. I'm going to take a toothbrush. I like to use my SpongeBob right here. Trim that off a little bit. Alright, I can show you kind of what it looks like. See that all the pads are pretty clean. They did a pretty good job on that. There you go. So yeah, you can see none of the traces are missing. Everything's there. I'm going to try to clean out some of these. Basically, here. I'm going to clean out this one, this one, this one, and this one, just so I can actually, when I take the new port out, I'll be able to just literally lay it down right into it. So I'm going to take a little bit more flux. Put it on top of there. Switched up my wick to this, a little bit thinner. Made by the same company that I use for flux. Right now I'm just cleaning these holes out so I can get the legs of the posts of the Newport in.
RockIT Repairs.
A little more flux down here, clean that pad off. Looks good though. Alright, that's good. So the front two are good. So now these back two pegs. You can see it kind of coming through the back in there maybe. Let's see. This damn camera annoys me. There you go. So now we got a hole there. Got one more to do. There we go. So now I have 4 holes that can be seen through. So now I'm just going to lay this guy in here. Sorry, some of this is going to be off camera real quick here so I can push this in the holes. Alright, so now once I get it kind of in place, I'm going to put a little bit more flux on each of these. And it's going to kind of start. I still need to clear out some of these holes right here in the back a little bit more. You got to make sure that the charging port does sit flush on the board. Okay, let's see if I can get this to sit a little bit better this time. Alright, so I just put solder on this back peg. I'm going to put some on this front peg. Right. A little bit to the back sides. So this is where I'm going to have to use the microscope a little bit. this is, see, there's the head of the microscope. Try to keep it out of the way as much as possible. Alright. Take a little bit of flux. I'm gonna put it right behind these pins right here. Try to make this smaller. And get you a little bit closer to see what's going on. Still gonna be tough. See if that works. Okay. Alright, so now I put some flux on it. Put some solder on the tip of my solder gun. And start going at it. gonna clean this, some alcohol. Make sure it's a soft toothbrush, otherwise you'll be pulling chips off. And I'm just looking to make sure I got connections on all my pieces, that's all.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, sick. Okay, sounds great. I'll probably just take up the yellow visual file.
Alright. Turn it off again. Everything looks good. And there you go. Autofocus in 1 second. There you go. It's done. Now you gotta do is put it back together, and as long as you